This next story is yet another entry in the steadily growing compendium of strange ocean sounds we've investigated. For almost 30 years, it's captivated researchers all over the world. But what is it? July 7th, 1997. In the Pacific Ocean, just north of the equator, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, is using an array of hydrophones to monitor sounds across the Pacific Ocean. These recording devices, once used by the U.S. Navy to detect enemy submarines, suddenly pick up something strange. Sped up 16 times, the sound has an almost wind-like quality, despite having been recorded deep underwater. And it doesn't match typical underwater noise patterns. Usually a sound of this scale would be picked up by several hydrophones. In this case, it is strangely only heard by one. It's dubbed the whistle, and it has been stumping scientists for decades.
The recording had to be deliberately sped up because the actual recording is below the frequency that human beings can hear. This is a very odd whistle, and to this day remains a mystery.
Because it was only heard briefly by one hydrophone, some believe this sound may have been created by a fast, focused, and directional entity, such as a USO, or unidentified submersible object.
We've known that the Navy has been dealing with these USOs now for decades. Most notably the USS Hampton in the late 1990s, during an operation using sonar, detected very strange sound moving very, very fast. Some of the individuals actually on that submarine estimated this was faster than the speed of sound. We don't have anything that moves that fast.
If you don't think there are still large species of sea creatures yet to be discovered, think again. In 1976, this bad boy, the megamouth shark, was seen for the first time when it got entangled in a U.S. Navy vessel's anchor. Is something even larger and more elusive responsible for our whistle? Could this strange sound be an unidentified submersible object like the one heard by the USS Hampton? Well, it turns out it can be difficult to prove the validity of a genuine USO.
When you're operating underwater, you're operating in an entirely alien environment. You have to use sensors in order to be able to see and operate there. There's no big windows that you can look out. And so it leaves this ambiguity.
However, our forensic audio analyst is confident this is not the sound of technology.
I don't find anything in here that repeats as a pattern that I might expect if there were a mechanical source making this sound. But the actual original recording had tones that were in the neighborhood of 10 or 12 hertz. There would have to be a pretty large vehicle or pretty large object capable of making that low a frequency in the ocean. This is a very, very large sound source.
Could that source be a very, very large animal?
Almost everything we know about noise creation from biological animals in the ocean is from the surface to mid-water. We don't really have anything past thousands of feet. The frequency range that we're looking at here is extremely high. If this was to be some sort of biological specimen, it could be bigger than a blue whale.
But the blue whale makes noises that sound nothing like our whistle. That's why we decided to do another comparison test, not with any biological source, but with something much bigger.
Here's an example of an actual underwater volcano recording. So if we look at just the band of frequencies corresponding from this recording to what we had in the whistle sound, very, very similar characteristic. Even though we can't give a 100% scientifically certain explanation of this sound, the consistent characteristics and the features of the recording, to me, all to go together to indicate that this is very likely to be an underwater volcanic eruption.
Our verdict? We don't know for sure. But we agree that this is most likely the sound of an underwater volcano erupting. So while this recording may not have come from some large, unknown underwater creature, odds are there are still some colossal beasts to be found in the ocean.